welcome back to Grace's Room. I know that for some of you guys out there, it's coming very close to the end of your school year, which means exams, finals, whatever you call them. And even I have mid-year exams coming up very soon. So I thought that it might be timely to show you guys my current study routine that helps me prepare for exams or even just normal tests. So hopefully you guys find this helpful. So the first thing that I like to do before I even start studying is make sure that I'm working in a clean, tidy, distraction-free environment, which for me is usually just a desk in my room or even a study downstairs. It's really important that you're working somewhere that doesn't have any distractions, especially if you're someone who gets distracted very easily like me, just to make sure that you're working somewhere very clean because it's very hard to focus when you've got lots of distractions around you. I think for most people, I'd say the biggest distraction is their phone. So I like to put my phone in a different room, downstairs, just somewhere where I can't touch it, because I'm usually always tempted to go on social media or something. And even if my desk has got a lot of clutter on it, just even a hair straightener or something, I like to clear it all off just so I can focus solely on my work. If I know that I have multiple tests within a week, or if it's exam period and I have an exam pretty much every single day, then the next thing that I like to do is get out a planner, checklist, or even just a plain piece of paper and just work out the dates that I have each test or exam, and therefore work out the amount of time that I need to allocate studying for each subject, because some subjects don't require as much studying because the content's less difficult, but some do because it is more difficult, the content, or there's just a lot more to study. This just really helps me work out the direction that I'm going in with my studying and make sure that I'm not wasting time on stuff that I don't really need to study as much for. Once I've set myself up and I'm ready to start studying, the first thing that I like to do is read over the notes that I've taken in class. Usually when I'm taking these notes in class, I color code them, not just because it looks pretty, but also because it highlights the topics that I know I need to remember for my test or exam. And while I'm reading over the notes, I like to have a piece of paper next to me so I can note down the topics or areas within that study that I don't quite understand. And so that way, when I'm revising, I know I need to focus on those ones specifically. One thing that my teachers have always told me not to do, and something that I kind of used to do in the past, was to rewrite your notes. I thought that it might help me remember all of my definitions and stuff, but it definitely did not, and it was just a huge time waster. So I don't personally recommend rewriting all your notes, but if this works for you, then do it, I suppose. One of my favorite methods of studying is to make cue cards, which usually contain definitions, dot points about certain topics, or those concepts that I didn't quite understand in a little bit more detail. I just found that they helped me so much, especially last year when I found out I was doing exams pretty last minute. I wrote down cue cards for all of my subjects, and it just really forced my brain to remember things. So I highly recommend using cue cards. Now that I've finished making cue cards and reading over my notes, the thing that I like to dedicate most of my time to while studying is doing practice questions. Typically, my teachers will give us revision sheets, which are really helpful, but in some cases when they don't give us revision sheets, usually I will just go back to my textbook and maybe pick out some practice questions that are usually in there, or I'll do a quick Google search to just try and find some existing worksheets about the topic I'm studying, or even go onto websites like Quizlet, which have some really helpful flashcards that usually contain some practice questions in them. I think that practice questions are the most important thing you can do when studying, because when you're in a test, you're not just going to be writing down definitions, you're going to be applying your knowledge into questions, so definitely do practice questions. Once I felt that I've done an appropriate amount of practice questions and I feel pretty confident with the topic overall, I'll then go downstairs and ask my parents to go through the cue cards I prepared earlier with me, and I'll virtually keep going over them until I can confidently recite the information on each of the cue cards. As well as going over the cue cards, something else that I feel is really helpful is to sometimes speak out loud about a topic, maybe while my mum's making dinner, I'll just sit there and explain the topic to her, and that just really helps me learn how to properly explain a concept. So just some final study tips or some things that I like to do while studying. This probably applies more once I'm in the exam. Sometimes if I've just got a bunch of definitions, thoughts and information just floating around in my head, sometimes I'll turn to the back of the exam paper and just jot down a bunch of random like keywords, definitions, just so that way I can refer back to them while I'm actually answering questions in the test. As a part of planning and allocating time to study, it's really important that you're giving yourself enough time and you're not leaving it to the last minute, because if you do run into any problems or you come across a topic that you don't understand and you need to ask your teacher a question, that way they have enough time to respond to you, because they're probably not going to respond to you the night before the exam at 10 p.m. Sometimes while studying, I like to FaceTime a friend or friends who are doing the same subject as me, because that way we can ask each other questions and confirm our knowledge, and I find this really helpful because we can bounce information off each other. Studying can become really tedious and draining at times, so it's really important to take study breaks regularly. Sometimes I just like to go outside, walk around the house, get a snack, drink some water just for a couple of minutes, because it just really helps refresh your mind and also gives you a bit more energy. As someone who gets distracted so easily by like the littlest things, I find it really helpful to listen to music. While doing normal homework, I'll just listen to my regular music. However, while studying, where I actually have to remember things, listening to classical music I discovered recently is really helpful, and it helps me stay focused and not get distracted. I don't know, maybe just because like it's super like relaxing as well. It also can calm me down if I'm studying and I'm finding the topic really overwhelming. There are like playlists on YouTube that just have a 2-hour-long compilations of classical music, so if you find that you get distracted very easily, definitely check that out. So that is my current study routine. That could definitely change within months, but at the moment that's definitely working for me and helping me study for tests and exams. Hopefully this is also helpful to you if you have any tests or exams coming up. Good luck. If there's any other tips you think I could add to my study routine, definitely let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my Instagram at Grace's World Official, and I'll see you guys next time on Grace's Room. Bye for now.